You read the title correct. Battlefield 6's vehicles are a f***ing disgrace. I genuinely wanted to wait till a couple months after launch to make this video, but I'm sick and tired. I genuinely am. I've tried to push through with this game, and I just can't be bothered with it anymore. It's pissing me off. It really is. And it pains me, yeah, because the reason I play Battlefield is because of the vehicles. It's what sets it aside from other shooter games. It's an arcade shooter that has vehicles. There is no other game that can really fill that hole for me. Yeah, there are like niche ones, and there was BattleBit that tried to replace Battlefield for a bit, but nothing does it better than Battlefield. So that's why it frustrates me, because the vehicles in this game are a genuine joke. You don't take them seriously. When you see a chopper, you're not thinking, oh shit, I better take cover. You're thinking, that's a free fucking kill. Give me that. Now, in what world does that make sense? Now, the Little Bird released with this season's launch, and it's okay, but it suffers from the same problem that every other air vehicle in this game has, and it's the fact that it looks like and feels like it has been designed in the most simple way possible. It feels like they've designed this so that little Timmy can go onto the Little Bird and maybe get a couple kills, right? But the problem here is they've completely screwed it over for everybody else, because it's no longer, there's no dogfighting to it. There is no skill curve anymore. You creep up onto another pilot, boom, you got him. It doesn't matter who he is. It could be Silk, who is regarded as one of the best pilots in Battlefield YouTube history, right? So it doesn't matter how good you are. Because of the way they've set this up, you just need to find the enemy first. There's no prolonged dogfight. There's no skill to it. You found them first, they are dead. So the goal of today's video is I'm going to break down these key points on why the choppers suck, and then I'm going to try and suggest some solutions to them. But I cannot lie, a lot of the solution is to just rebuild it from the ground up. The whole TTK, the whole system of it, just everything needs to be rebuilt from the ground up. They said they were going to do some balance pass thing. I've not heard anything about that since they mentioned it once in maybe one patch note, devlog or whatever. Where that is, I don't know. Are we getting it? Is it going to happen? Or is they just hoping we forget? I don't know, guys. You tell me. So as I was saying earlier, the time to kill for air-to-air combat, it's just too fast. It's too fast. Half the time, if you're not the one to get the first shot, and you're not the one to find the enemy first, guess what? You're dead before you even realise you're being attacked. There's no engagement, there's no dogfight, there's no fun basically, you're just dead. Right? There was nothing you did wrong per se, the only thing you did wrong was not camping his airfield. And that's what Game Dice is promoting here. If you don't camp the airfield, guess what? You die. Now I'm playing a clip here, you can literally see how fast the TTK is. It's in slow motion, and I mean, like, just watching this myself now in post, this is genuinely ridiculous. This is faster than the human's reaction time, literally. He didn't even know he was dead, and I'd already killed him. So what are you meant to do about that? Whereas if we go back to 2042, the TTK there, you could actually respond and have a fight with the person confronting you. In this game, you just die. You can't do anything. And you can see in the footage here, like, the guy, obviously, he kind of just lets me shoot him. But the point here is, he could have responded to me. He's not dead in one frame. He genuinely could have tried to shoot back at me. Or run away. One of the two. But that's the Battlefield 6. You can't do that. Now, another problem that contributes to this is the fact that, like, around 50 health, like 50% of your health, your chopper will go into some uncontrollable spin. And it's really inconsistent, this, but that ultimately will just guarantee the kill. If you go into that spin and you can't get out of it, or something doesn't miraculously save you, you're dead. And the problem with this is, it doesn't matter if you're good, it doesn't matter if you're the best pilot in the world, some random average pilot could easily kill you. And for some people that may be like, oh great, but in my opinion, it shouldn't be like that. It should just be cold, outright, best pilot wins. And in this game, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're the best pilot. It doesn't matter if you're average. If you get the first shot, if you find the enemy pilot first, you're going to win. And I don't agree with that. And then for jets, it's even worse. There is nothing you can do. You're not going to realise they're even behind you, unless of course you're camping the airfield. And if they are behind you, which they most of the time will be, you're screwed. There is nothing you can do. They did say they reduced the damage. It doesn't change anything. All it does is just make your death slightly more painful to watch. That's all it does. It's completely useless. The TTK is still a joke. And they don't even need to get your health to 0% to kill you. They can do about, 25% of your health, and you're going to go into some stupid little spiral that removes all of your ability to control the jet, and you don't have an emergency repair, so you're dead. You're basically dead. And the solution to this is, well, you either camp the airfield, or you just filter out every lobby. You filter out, as soon as you die, you leave, join next lobby. If you think there is the slightest bit of resistance in that lobby, you leave. Because if you actually want to get high kill games and have fun matches, you need a lobby full of morons. You genuinely need a lobby full of morons. They need to let you do what you want. If even one guy has his heart set out on killing you in the chopper or jet, that's it. Your game's ruined. You're not going to be able to fly. Now, if they actually want to fix this problem, it's simple. Just increase the TTK. I really don't know what is so complicated about this. Yes, you're going to have to rework a lot of the weapons and the rockets and all sorts, but it has to be done. And if it's not done, I'm afraid the vehicles are never going to get better. They never will. This is one of the biggest problems I have with them so far.
Release me! Release me!
Now, airfield camping is really annoying in this game. Now, when people do it to me, unfortunately, I don't blame them, alright? It's the right thing to do. If I was up in the sky, I'm a threat to them, and because there's no air radar and TTK is fast, they have to get rid of me. They have to get rid of that threat, and the only way they can do that with certainty is to kill me on the airfield. I don't blame them, okay? But it's stupid that it has to be that way. It really is. So to fix this, get rid of the airfields. Why are they there in the first place? Why do you need airfield spawns? Doesn't make sense from a fundamental point of view. You wouldn't ever have airfields, active airfields, being used that close to an active conflict zone. So, get rid of them. You spawn the jets in, you spawn the choppers in as well, mid-air, give them some momentum to kick them off so that they can defend themselves, and then you give them spawn protection. It's not that hard. You give them a couple seconds of spawn protection, and that way, if there is somebody waiting for them, they have time. And that time allows them to either kill the enemy that was sat there waiting for them, or at least get into a position where they can, try again and have an equal dogfight. And obviously this would also put off people from airfield camping in the first place, or in this case it would be spawn camping because there's no airfield. And it would punish them for trying, because obviously they're shooting at somebody who's invincible for a couple seconds. They're going to lose that fight. So overall, I'm not sure why we've never had spawn protection in previous Battlefield games, and I'm not quite sure why we've had airfield spawns in previous Battlefield games as well. It doesn't really make sense to me. So can we scrap that idea, please? And while we're here on a side note, why the hell do the vehicles not spawn when somebody's standing on the spawn point? That is stupid. It makes no sense. Get rid of that as well. Because it pisses me off when you see 9 people congregating around the chopper spawn, I don't know what they're doing there. It's my chopper. No, it's my chopper. No, my friend's got a chopper. I've got a gunner pilot with me. No, just piss off. Spam like the rest of us, and whoever gets it, gets it. Seriously, it pisses me off this, and I don't know why people do it. It's annoying, right? So get rid of that as well. This part really annoys me, because this part screams to me laziness and last minute decisions, really. There's like no diversity in the loadouts, okay? Especially for the jets. The jets have one loadout. One loadout. And that's the one you're just forced to use. There's no diversity, and part of the fun is finding the most optimal loadout and the diverse loadouts you can get, right? There's nothing in the jets. There's no diversity in any of the loadouts. Okay, the choppers have it better, obviously, but even then, they are nowhere near as diverse as previous Battlefield games. Even 2042 has more diverse vehicle loadouts than Battlefield 6 combined. All of their vehicles together don't even come close. Yeah. And that's saying something, because that game was put together in a cave with a box of scraps, literally. And yet, some people argue that, it doesn't matter, you'll end up using the meta loadout anyway. But that's not the point. The point is the diversity's there. Like, yeah, nobody used the bloody fire extinguisher on the jets in Battlefield 4. At least I think so. If anybody did, let me know. But yeah, nobody used that, but it's there. That's an option for you to choose and play with. That's the point. Or the cannon rounds, like you had the 20 mil, the 25 mil, the 30 mil, right? The 30 mil shot slower, the 25 mil did more damage. The diversity is there, and people did alternate with the loadouts. In this game, you just stuck with what they give you, and that's it. They expect you to put up with it, alright? Like, what if I don't want bombs? What if I want to rotate the bombs for missiles? Or what if the AGM, I want to replace that with another bomb? Something, I don't know, just add diversity to the loadouts. Now, in fairness, the Little Bird did have a bit more diversity than the other vehicles. You know, keyword a bit. It's nothing compared to previous Battlefield games, but it had a bit more. So, you know, well done. Step in the right direction. But apart from that, there is just no diversity in the loadouts in the air vehicles in this game. Hell, even the tanks, even they got barely anything to choose from. I like the idea of being able to have 2 shells. That's a pretty good idea, pretty good concept, but there's no diversity. And for that, it's just annoying. It's frustrating because it feels like they have put the vehicles together last. They focused everything they had on the infantry aspect of the game. But for the vehicles, they were just like, what do we do, guys? I don't know. Oh, I don't know, guys. I've never made a vehicle before. Like, they just don't know what to do. And this is where they need to actually, you know, work with the community a bit. Because I know they're not the same devs from Battlefield 4. We get that. I get that. But, like, they can't just go on their own tangent and do what they think's best. I know it's their game, but we're the players. They have to listen to us to some degree. So the solution to this is just go back to a couple Battlefield games, take notes, genuinely. Oh, Battlefield 4, what did they have in there? Oh, okay, so they had ECM jammer, they had flares. Okay, we'll add an ECM jammer in then. Cool. Oh, the attack jet had the choice of Hydra rockets or the JDAM. Okay, we'll add some of that in as well. Go back, I don't care if you copy paste it in, just go back and take some notes. Add some diversity to the jet loadouts in this game. It's honestly a shame we don't have actual Hydra rockets. I mean, they were everybody's favourite go-to in the jet, really. And then yeah, just apply that across the board. Choppers, jets, tanks, the Bradley, the infantry fighting vehicle. Just apply it to everybody. Go back, pull some stuff from them, and let's get some diversity into the game, because it really is really boring. And it's painful knowing that there isn't really any option, right? Sometimes if you were going up against a good pilot, guess what? You're swapping out to AA missiles on your jet, right? Makes sense. You're changing on the fly, you're adapting. We don't have that in this game. You just stuck with the default loadout. This is another thing that really annoys me. Some of the maps in Battlefield 6 do not feel like they are designed for jets or helicopters. Blackwell Fields is by far the biggest example of this, and it almost infuriates me just even saying its name, okay? Because that map, I honestly think jets was an afterthought. They were like, oh no, oh shit, we've only got, what, 2 maps with jets? Shit, we better, you know, add another one in. Let's just sprinkle on jets onto this map. It'll be fine. Because they genuinely didn't think it through. Jets do not belong on that map. One or the other, right? The map either needs to be bigger, have its play area expanded, or they just need to remove jets from it. That's as simple as that. They need to cut their losses and just remove the jets from it. There is, on a lot of these maps, there is literally no cover. Now, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. Contamination actually has quite a lot of air cover and little valleys for you to dip in and out of when you're flying a chopper. But like, let's take Eastwood. The height limit on that is 100 meters, right? Are you kidding? Like, whose idea was that? Genuinely, whose idea was that? 100 meters is the height limit on a map with choppers. Just get rid of them. Why have you got choppers in the map then at that point? And the problem here is it feels like they're just adding the vehicles for the sake of it. Honestly, that's what it feels like. They don't add them because they want to, they add them because they have to, because if there's no vehicles, then it's not a Battlefield game, is it? And then the problem with this lack of cover on a lot of the maps is you give us flares that last literally a second, like literally a second, and then it ties back into my earlier points where if you get hit once by an AA missile, it puts you in this uncontrollable spin. Now for the choppers, you'll probably be fine, but for the jets, 9 times out of 10, you're cooked, really. You can't do anything about it. And again, like pro pilots, they would have gotten used to this, they would have adapted to this. Doesn't really matter to them, but it's just annoying because it shows that they haven't thought this through. Now to wrap up here, I'm going to go over some more, fine stuff that didn't really deserve its own topic, but I should still mention anyway. So first things first, the minimap. In this game, it's completely useless if you're flying, right? The radius of it is so small, you're not really going to detect anything relevant to you. You'll maybe get some infantry, but like I said, not relevant to you. I've seen it a couple times actually help me, maybe once, to spot a chopper. Okay, aside from that, it's absolutely useless. And the reason is, there's no button to change the zoom on it anymore. Or at least I don't think there is. I checked in the settings. I mean, I navigated that massive maze. I don't know why there's no search function in the settings menu either. But I navigated that. I couldn't find a button to change the minimap zoom. And in previous Battlefield games, we've had this. So why is it not here in this one? And then the big map, if you were to use that, guess what? That doesn't help you either if you're in a jet or a chopper. Because the bloody map centers on you. So you don't actually end up seeing anything really anyway. Most of what you see is actually just out of bounds and has no relevance to the battlefield at all. So it's useless and I don't use it, and you can't even move your jet while you're using it, so it's even more useless. The next thing is the CRAM in the base AA basically. That thing is useless. It decides when it wants to save you, and by the time it does kick in, you're already dead because, well, like I said, how fast the TTK is. See how it all links back to the TTK? Yeah. I hope DICE sees that, because I don't think they do. But yeah, by the time it's kicked in and it started to shoot your enemy, you're already dead, mate. Sorry. It's too late. It's like a typical movie cliche where all of the police and the soldiers and the army show up just after the main characters either died or something stupid like that, right? It's pointless. It doesn't help you, and in some cases it just doesn't make sense, right? It does that thing where it intercepts bombs and rockets. That's cool and all, but then it just invites people to sit in there all game and do nothing. And nothing except fire tow missiles, of course. So they're invulnerable to everything except machine gun fire or cannon fire. And you can't damage them, but they can sure as hell fuck you up. So it makes no sense. The CRAM needs reworking. I have a couple theories on how you could do that. And for one, just extend its radius overall for air vehicles. You shouldn't be getting anywhere near their base outright. You just shouldn't. Or give players the option to take control of it instead. Or it could be like Battlefield 4 where you spot the jet, chopper, whatever, and then it kicks in. It goes full sweat mode, destroys them. But those are just a couple reasons, and like I said, none of those are perfect. Overall, it needs a rework. Another thing, and this has been quite debated now for a while, the RPGs and the tow missiles. Now the tow missiles, they genuinely need to be nerfed. They either need to make noise, like they did in Battlefield 2042. I've already dealt with this before, that's why I'm okay with it, sort of. But I'm setting the bar really low here because the Liz rocket in Battlefield 2042 made noise. You could actually dodge that, and the Liz rocket actually took, in its final stage, it actually took a reasonable amount of skill to use, especially against another good pilot. You genuinely had to, it was like a game of psychology, genuinely. But yeah, the tow missile either needs to make a bunch of noise as it approaches you, so that you know when you can start evading, or it just needs to have its speed or responsibility, like how fast it responds to your movements, reduced. That's it. That's all it needs to do. And then the RPGs, that honestly, the projectile velocity on them, it's faster than 2042's, but 2042 was very fast. I didn't really notice it as much in 2042, and the reason why is because the choppers and shit were nimble, right? The Little Bird, I don't notice it as much in the Little Bird because that thing's nimble. I can fly like a psychopath. The attack chopper, however, can't do that, and that's where that one suffers. The attack chopper suffers because that thing turns like a bus. Okay, so just increase the limits of the pilot himself. Okay, if somebody's flying slow, yeah, they're gonna get RPG'd out of the sky. But somebody trying to fly really aggressive, he's flying really fast, he's doing all sorts of maneuvers and all sorts to dodge the RPGs. Give the pilot the opportunity to demonstrate that he can fly really aggressively, he can fly erratically, but still hit his shots. That's exactly why I like the Little Bird, because that's exactly what I get to demonstrate. So I think the attack chopper, just a little bit more maneuverability, yeah. If it turned just slightly faster and allowed you to be a little bit more erratic, I think honestly, the good pilots wouldn't notice the RPG problem as much. But yeah, that's one of the options. The other option is to obviously just reduce its projectile velocity. I mean, have you seen the projectile velocity of the RPGs and everything really in Battlefield 4? They were very slow. If you wanted to hit a chopper, you genuinely needed to lead by a lot. So, you know, pick your choice, DICE, or you could go with secret option 3, which is to just ignore all of this and, you know, let your community suffer even more. Now, another thing is, everything has a tow missile. Why do the tanks have a tow missile? They shouldn't have a tow missile. Now, obviously, DICE, they don't like to remove stuff. They're very, very, very hesitant on removing stuff. They can never accept defeat in that way. So instead, just nerf it. It shouldn't be performing anywhere near as fast and agile as an actual tow missile, say on the Bradley. But even then, all of the tow missiles in general, they need to have their maneuverability reduced. Because in real life, they weren't even designed to shoot down choppers. They were designed to be used long range against other tanks. And nobody's using it that way. I've not seen a single person actually use the guided shell to kill another tank. It doesn't happen. Everybody uses them on other choppers and jets. Now, the Little Bird won't really suffer from this as much because it's agile and it's fast and it's small. So if you see a tow missile coming towards you, you can very easily evade it, you know, assuming the guy isn't that good. However, the attack chopper doesn't get that mercy. Even if you see the tow missile coming towards you, there is most likely nothing you can do to avoid it. Even if the guy shooting it is just average at aiming it, he will get you because the tow missile is just so responsive, it's so maneuverable that there is nothing you can do. And again, like I said, most of the time you won't even hear it coming. You'll be minding your own business, phew, dead, and you couldn't do anything about it. Now to wrap up here, the problem is with all of this is that it doesn't just screw over pro pilots, it screws over everybody below them, right? If a pro pilot's going to struggle to manage this, how the hell is an average gamer, he's just come home from work, he wants to go fly a chopper, boom, he's dead. Now, after all this, you may be thinking, oh, he's just bitching because he can't get 100 kills every game. I'm going to be real with you here. Every YouTuber you see who gets 100 kills or whatever, those matches are cherry picked and they are filtered through hundreds, potentially, hundreds and hundreds of matches. And the conditions to have a 100 kill game or just a really good game in general, they need to be perfect. You need to have your team and enemy team be even enough so that the match lasts as long as possible. And then you need to make sure the enemy team doesn't focus you hard enough and basically they need to let you win. Only then can you actually have a good game. And then finally, let's talk about the transport helicopter. Oh wait, he's dead. He's dead. The transport helicopter is dead. None of my friends want to fly it. Every time I see it, I don't have any high hopes for anybody flying it. It doesn't last any longer than 10 seconds. And you know why? It's because it's too slow, it's too fat, and a combination of the TTK and everything else I've talked about, it doesn't survive. It has no hope. It really doesn't. It is officially dead and there is nothing we are going to do about it. It is literally just free 5 kills.